World Combat Sports. Hello, everyone. It's about that time again, Friday night. And you know, I had to get on here and talk about the hype. Layla Ali and Clarissa Shields popping off over media like it's supposed to be. I'm being absolutely genuine and honest about it. It has a lot been going on, and this is only brewing, man. It's been accumulating for quite some time. Hear me when I tell you. You have two females in the game, in the combat sports game, that are absolutely competitive at the highest level at their point in time. And we all know that Carissa Shields is the one that's popping right now. She has the crown. She's the three division champion, the fastest to ever do it. And she's the only Olympian double gold medalist. Okay. A lot has to go into her continuing to call herself the GOAT. It has to go into the fact that her credentials are adding up to what she's able to accomplish, and she's going into the freaking ring and she's getting it done. That's boxing. Now, a lot of people may not feel all happy and go lucky about Carissa Shields and the way she's going about talking with the bravado and everything. And you know, we live in a different society. But check this out, though. You wasn't criticizing Muhammad Ali for doing the same thing. Muhammad Ali was known and applauded for his trash talking, his in your face, blunt persona, and basically letting his opponents know that he was the best. You know what I'm saying? That's what he did. And he went in the ring and put on some memorable performances. When it comes to a woman trying to do the same thing in boxing, it doesn't go over the same way. In mixed martial arts, being that that's the neighboring sport that's closest to boxing right now, it's a different type of vibe and energy, man, that the people give a woman who's talking that trash. It is point blank. Female mixed martial artists, they can go ahead and talk trash, and their fan base will embrace it. If you're proving it, your fan base will say, okay, and we're talking about the mixed martial arts. Okay, you are the baddest woman around. They're quick to anoint somebody as the baddest woman alive. Just like at one point in time, mixed martial arts, you know, UFC was highlighting Ronda Rousey. And then until recently, you had Amanda Nunes win the bantamweight championship at 135 and the featherweight championship at 145. Not only until she went over there and knocked out Chris Cyborg the way she did in devastating, decimating, crushing fashion, they anointed her as the baddest woman on the planet. Then you have boxing where they not as accommodating, they're not as genuine and sensitive to anoint a woman. That's amazing how that shit still pop off the way it does. Like, they aren't as remorseful when a woman is out here doing what Shields was able to do. But the boxing public is still male dominated. They are up here watching boxing and they give credit to the men who stand out. You know what I'm saying? You can take the above average fighter with a less than impressive resume and they will put him in front of Carissa Shields. You know what I'm saying? Give him some names. Give him less championships, but long as he's a world champion. Just give him a Olympic silver, a gold medal. And if he fought some top tier names, the ones that we can really brag about, then they will say, well, we'll put him in front of Carissa Shields. Because if the women's boxing was anywhere close to being equal to that of men, then we will have more people advocating for more women to be on the pound for pound list. But men, look, male boxers dominate the box pound for pound list. They don't even think about females. You know why they don't think about females? It's going to be the same language, y'all. It's going to be the simple language that the competition is marginal. It's marginal in boxing. Like, I can be honest, since I cover boxing and mixed martial arts, I can tell you hands down, if I'm looking at the women in mixed martial arts and what they have to go through as far as their competition, and if I compare that in a side by side analogy to the women in boxing and what they have to look forward to, even though the weight classes aren't as high, you know what I'm saying? You have the 115, the 125, the 135, and the 145 pound division. But internal to that collective competitive class, they are women in there that will make you think twice. They say, man, this fight's going to be pretty interesting. This woman's very talented. You have some women in the UFC at the top of the food chain that can actually fight. In boxing, they choose not to want to give these women what they are working for. Period. So, Layla Ali, Clarissa Shields, the talk has been back and forth. Should the fight happen? Recently, Layla Ali stepped to the radio, and what she say? She's basically making it clear that she didn't respect Clarissa Shields, didn't disrespect her initially. She just said it was nobody that interests her. And when you build a name like Layla Ali off her dad, Muhammad Ali, and you retire undefeated, you was in there, you had a pretty decent KO rate, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to the boxing analysts, critics, you know that they're gonna zoom in and scrutinize the fact once again of the competition themselves. What type of competition did Layla Ali have back in the day to kind of boast it? I know it kind of irks her a little bit that Clarissa Shields, 10 fights in, she was able to get 3 divisions. Okay. But I'm going to be honest, the competition back then with the women was much more steep, in my opinion, much more competitive than today. Layla Ali, she was on 24-0, man, 21 knockouts. You feel me? So if you look at a boxer with 2 knockouts and 10 fights, and you compare the experience, which Layla Ali has more than half the experience, right now than Clarissa Shields. I just think the people that she fought, even though they can consider marginal opposition, I believe back then the women who actually stepped into the ring, in my opinion, was much more of a commodity to come in there and actually box. And it's not by a large margin either. It's very you can put some doubt in that. You can put a lot of oohs and ahs, a lot of skepticism. You can analyze it however you feel like. But when it comes to the women division from that era of Layla Ali to this era, you'll have people mention Ann Wolfe. It would have been great to see Ann Wolfe step in the ring with Layla Ali. See Ann Wolfe step in the ring with Clarissa Shields. It would have been an absolute treat. Both, Layla Ali and Clarissa Shields both have their flaws. You know what I'm saying? On the last fight I seen with Ivana Habashin, she discredited Clarissa Shields' punching power after Clarissa Shields, I guess her training was coming back, or I think Clarissa made mention that she's kind of growing into her body right now, and she feel like she has more power. And I get what she's saying. You know what I'm saying? I get what Clarissa Shields saying. She probably felt good. She's getting older and she's growing in her power, but she still, what she was able to do was placement, thinking, strategy. And she said she heard Andre Ward tell her to go to the body. That is a strategy and an offensive execution that she should have been thinking about, because we can all agree that Clarissa Shields loved going up top. She loved using her defense. You can tell she be in there with the guys sparring and picking up and learning, You know, you can tell that's what she's used to, hands down. Hold on for a second. Okay, I'm back. The way Carissa Shields went out there and handled her championship bout, one thing I have to credit her for is trying to entertain, because she has a lot of male boxers that's behind her. I think she gravitate more to the male side of the house, just the way she came up, just the type of aggressiveness, just the type of air she breathes, um, her tenacious spirit. You know what I'm saying? Not being afraid. That's what Clarissa Shield gravitates around. I mean, I can say Flint, Michigan all day. I can say she was she went through trials and tribulations like a lot of boxers and a lot of people in life. I just don't want to sound cliche, but what I'm telling you is she wants to be a showman. She knows she's a female boxer, woman boxer, and she has to do a lot more to get that recognition as the male. So the way she's trying to be flashy, the way she's trying to deliver her punches, she want to be the master in the ring. She want people to understand that she may not have the power, but she'll outbox your ass. That's basically what she's saying, and she's letting her hands do the talking. She want to let you know I can box. Right now, Carissa Shields is boxing. She's showing out in her own way, and she's packing away accolades so quickly on the front side of her career that her language is she's the GOAT. Look, it's hard pressed. We can do a lot of mathematic equations and calibrations and try to dumb it down as much as we possibly can. We can take Amanda Serrano, who's a 7 division champion, to Carissa Shields, 3 division champion, but in 10 fights faster than any males. Now we can sit up here as grown adults, intelligent enough to say, okay, let's try to balance the accolades. How prestigious is Cecilia Brockus, unified in the division? Okay. How, what's the merit that we're looking for? The measuring stick. What is the ruler of criteria that we're going to use to separate one woman from the other when it comes to these boxing accolades? You got Amanda Serrano, 7 division, and then you got Carissa Shields, 3 division, and undisputed, unified. You know what I'm saying? Is the quantity going to be the measuring, or we're going to look at the overall body of work? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to gather. When I critique these female fighters, I want to do it in a way that I'm not just saying 7's higher than 3. That's BS. That's nonsense. That's ignorance. It's showing a little bit of a lack of literacy to the boxing game if you're going to say 7 is higher than 3 in this particular case. Am I right or wrong? What's going on, Don Dada? Salute, man. Thanks for dropping back in. All of you that's tuned in, hit the thumbs up. I appreciate it. We can't go 7-3 on this. It's no way. We can critique the 7 divisions by Amanda Serrano, just like we can critique the 3 divisions by Carissa Shields. And we can take the opponents that stand out the most in Carissa Shields fights, and we can kind of say, okay, this was that. We can take Christine Hammer. What did she do? She end up, defeating a woman who's basically been champion for like what, 8 years or something like that. Haven't been beaten 8 years or whatever. She hasn't lost in 8 years. So, you take that criteria, her stepping in there, Hannah Gabriel. Okay, Tori Nelson. You take all her notable fights, Ivana Habashin, and you take them collectively and mesh them all together. And what is the mold that you can make to advocate that Carissa Shields, 3 divisions, outshines that of 7 division champion of Amanda Serrano? And then you have to collectively look at what has she did for women's boxing. Well, for women's boxing, for one, she's a double gold medalist. Period. You can't take that away. I don't care how much you dislike her. You can't take it away. Her attitude rubs people the wrong way. But you know what? I'll tell anybody. I really don't take any freaking consideration. I might frown upon it here and there as far as professionalism. More so being a retired devil dog. But this ain't the military. This is life in general, and we're talking about the hurt business. And Carissa Shields' attitude should be the way it is in the sport of boxing, man. I'm just convinced that her attitude is gonna rub people the wrong way. I've had my experiences with it, but as a grown ass man, I can't sit up here and frown upon her when you have boxers and mixed martial artists in the male side that's doing the same thing, but worse. But worse. Now back to the topic at hand. Layla Ali coming out of retirement and she's saying she'll take 2, but do you have 5 million for me? 10 million, because that's what it would take. Should I be mad at Layla Ali for requesting the price tag for the call out since she does have a prestige to her name? Nah, to be honest, you won't get that out of me. I'm not gonna be mad at a woman who's been out the ring since 07. She's been out since 07. So you want her to come back 13? Look, sitting around 13 years, right? Her last fight was February 07, y'all. So just take going on 13 years. Give or take, Carissa say she'll give her 6 months to a year to get in shape, get herself back together. That's a year away from her family and kids right at this point at 42 years old. Now, I look at it a different way with people sitting up here saying, nah, Layla Ali should just stay where she is. She's been out the ring. Listen. If Layla Ali mental psyche can recalibrate and dial it back in for her to get in the training camp, hit the road, put in a max effort to get back in there for 5 freaking million. She'll say 5 million for Layla, 5 million for Shields. That'll be the highest either fighter has ever been paid per bout. So for Layla Ali to be out the ring, by the time she stepped back in there, it probably would have been close to 14 years. You think it's not a valuable reward for her to step in there for $5 million? And she's 43 years, she'll be 43. You know what I'm saying? She'll be about 43 years old. Man, get the bag. Get the bag quick. She giving you 6 months to a year to train, to get back in shape, to go in there and face. Forget about the 0 and worry about the O's. You know what I'm saying? Worry about those wheels that's going to be after the comma. Because ultimately, if you have your own business going on right now and you're going around signing autographs and doing the Legends Ball and all this Hall of Fame stuff, just going around and touring of boxers of yesterday, why not go up here and get this money for your family? You know what I'm saying? So you can understand, like I do. Look, I always put boxers and mixed martial artists and combat sports in general in this spear. That spear is the lens of a microscope. And that circle, from the time you enter the sport until the time you leave, it will leave you in the exact same circle for which you entered. It has no retirement plan. It has no freaking future benefits. You will continue the same rotation that you did when you stepped into the sport. Unless you've made millions and millions of dollars and you was able to invest and you was able to put your money somewhere where you can get residual income. These women ain't gonna make no money outside of boxing. And if you live in the lifestyle and you want to come out here and pay for these cars, houses, and everything else, that takes money. And guess what? When you get that 5 million, you got to pay your taxes. We know how that goes. We grown, we know. That's why I just smirk sometimes, man, when people always dog out the military and they say that's what you signed up for. And that was stupid of you because you got injuries from it, you got disabilities and all that. But every time I go to the doctor, I'm like looking at the copay, like, how much is my copay? $5. All right. Having 3 surgeries, and for all 3 surgeries, my copay is what again? 0. You know what I'm saying? It has its benefits. And I tell people, like, a lot of people just thinking about the moment and themselves when it comes to Layla Ali coming out of retirement. Who gives a crap about a record that's unblemished as if it's going to tarnish you as a fighter? Your career is over. Layla Ali, if from what I understand, she's married, right, with 2 kids. Layla Ali can get with her husband and say, baby, just like we do in the military, I got a deployment coming up. I got things to do. When we have to go off in combat, it's no talking to the wife and trying to contemplate whether we're going to do it or not. It's you got to get the shit done. You moving out. If you're a conscientious objector and you refuse to go to combat after you've been ordered to, you may find yourself being reprimanded, being prohibited, or being non-recommended for promotion, or being thrown in the brig. I've seen it. It happens. So if Layla Ali had the option of going back in the ring after being given the opportunity to train several months for that amount of money, why not go in there and sacrifice everything to prove a point? You say you don't care who it is, they get knocked out. Your KO percentage is 87.5%. What's the issue? I don't like to put myself in there with the equation, but God damn it. At 40, at her age, I was on stage competing with the open class, due to mental discipline and everything else. I was winning hands down the over 40, and not one contest that I went in with the open 20, with the open class, with the 20, 30-year-old, that I got lower than second. Look it up. It's all about your discipline. Now, I know this is a freaking combat sport. I know you have to get your mechanics together and everything, but what's natural, what's in your wheelhouse, you come and get back into shape. We've seen fighters do it. You know what I'm saying? We've seen the George Foreman go in here 45 years old and knock out Michael Moore. We've seen Bernard Hopkins go in there and win the championship. Even Archie Moore won a championship very late. It was different back then, but still, at a late age, he was still able to get a championship. It's out there. I would encourage these women. I don't see them being on the phone together. I don't see them having a conversation that's cordial, because Layla Ali is a freaking a handful. Carissa Shields a handful. And when I hear Clarissa say she'll whoop her ass and she'll smoke her, Clarissa believes that, in my opinion. I just think Carissa Shields believes that she would smoke Layla Ali in the ring. You know what I'm saying? She came up rough. You could tell she's been around a lot of boys, and how she's fighting, and she's working on her defense. She want to be flashy. She want to be a defensive sounded fighter. She wants to entertain for bigger paychecks. It's going to take some time for her to grow on people, because a lot what Carissa's doing, if a male was doing it, it would be cool. But since it's her, she ain't being ladylike in a lot of ways. I get who she is as a person a little bit, just enough to advocate on a little bit about her. You know, like I said before, I might be coming from where I'm at in my maturity of traveling the world and dealing with way worse. I might be diluting Clarissa Shields' attitude just a bit, but I look at combat sports is, why not talk trash? Why not sell the fight? If you're trying to feed your family and yourself or whatever, trying to set up a future for those who you may be supporting around you, why not, if you have the opportunity to speak up a fight with a boxer many call a female legend in the sport because of her dad, her name, and everything else. She retired 24-0, 21 knockouts. Why not take that all the way to the bank? I'm being absolutely serious. Why not, man? You know, y'all tripping. Y'all tripping if I'm not gonna sit up here and say, man, I suggest that Layla Ali come out of retirement if investors are able to get up that amount of money. If it's somebody out there that's willing to put up some money and allow these women to get 5 apiece. You know what I'm saying? It was at one point in time I'll say, well, Carissa Shields don't deserve 5 apiece. But that was a good while ago, you know, especially with the amount of fights she has. But when a woman comes up here, she's a double gold standard. And she set the tone. She set the bar. She is the bar. She did it faster than a man or woman has ever did. So you got to take a look at it and say, you know what? Maybe she got some here. If Floyd Mayweather can call Conor McGregor out and charge us all $100, people, and you all sit there and pay $100 to see an 0-0 boxer who just got his license step in the ring with who we consider one of the best of this era, you think you're going to frown on what Carissa's trying to do? That's just absurd. Floyd Mayweather was able to allow Conor McGregor to pat him on the head, be disrespectful to his family, say F the Mayweathers, the whole entire lineage that they've been in the gym sacrificing boxing. Conor McGregor, a lot of people that don't dig deep enough, Conor McGregor actually boxed amateur. And then he ended up, you know, jumping out of it and getting into mixed martial arts. That's for show. But if you're going to tell me that Floyd Mayweather that convinced this public full of intelligent human beings that you should pay $100 to see Conor McGregor come over here and contend in this 4-corner square with one of the best of this era defensively, the mastery of his countering ability. We're talking about a guy who's used to posturing and standing in a wide stance and waiting to land his left hand, going in there against a pure boxer in Floyd Mayweather. And y'all actually reach down in your pocket with a heavy heart, and you spent that mortgage. You spent that car note. You went out here and got there and paid $100. And I just sat and laughed because I didn't pay $100 for that fight because I knew what was going to happen. Floyd being the showman he was, he went out there and did what he had to do. And I think Layla Ali should just step back in the ring and do as best as she possibly can. If you're going to get on the radio and talk to whoever you want to talk to and have these interviews, then shoot, we need to see something. All right, because there's a lot going on. Carissa, hey, you could tell Shields trying to make herself every bit of the conversation. Carissa is trying to have people come at her from all angles so she can be the talking point up here in the media like she is right now. First, it was Amanda Nunez. I got all right. I'm really thinking about going over to mixed martial arts. I go to mixed martial arts, and then she get on the radio and say, I don't think that fight's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And then we see her even before then. She's playing around with Chris Cyborg. Chris Cyborg is in top position, and she's kind of teaching Carissa Shields about the closed guard from the bottom. Listen, as good as it may seem for TV, it takes a lot of mat time to know how to work yourself into a submission when someone's on top, or also to set yourself up for an escape, make it back to your feet, to basically just set traps off your back, or if you're in the top position, the proper way on how to transition past the guard and work for a submission. It takes mat time after mat time. Jiu-jitsu is one of those sports that you cannot fake the funk in, people. So Carissa Shields is going to go over there for Amanda Nunez in mixed martial arts, but first she want her in the ring. I believe wholeheartedly that the Brazilian Nunez, who has losses on her record already, I think she has like 3 or 4 losses, I believe. I believe she will come over here for the paycheck, because over in the UFC they kind of starving a bit to get the big money fights, females especially. So if Amanda Nunez can come over here, lock up with Carissa Shields, the highest weight Amanda Nunez has ever fought, 145. Carissa's, she's up here fighting 160, 168. Much bigger than Amanda Nunez has ever fought in her freaking career. Put on some heavier gloves and check out. Check out. See what you got in the boxing ring. We already know the honest part of life in this sport, if you observe it correctly, is that Carissa Shields don't have punching power. I don't care if you are talking about a body shot. We're talking about Amanda Nunez, a person who takes kicks to the ribs, takes kicks to the thigh, the shin, low level to mid level to high kicks. Individuals who train, individual who dead nerves in certain parts of their body so they can able to deliver that strike to their opponent's leg without it hurting. Opponents who takes knees. If you ever been kneed in the thigh, try it out. I'm telling you, it'll make you go to the bathroom a whole lot different than you used to, right on the spot. And you take that in consideration with Carissa Shields' lack of punching power. And I think that bout would be more competitive than what people are given, because Amanda Nunez can fight. Amanda Nunez can absolutely fight, and she will give a good account of herself if she was to step in there with Carissa Shields for some rounds. Will she make it a distance? I don't know. Carissa Shields is the boxer. She's the bona fide boxer, and her background is that of the Olympian. She didn't make 3 divisions just by sitting around and saying, you know what, I'm not ready for that. No, I commend her. I salute her for damn pressing the gas on that shit and getting it done and say, I want to be someone different in life. Carissa Shields right now is crazy as a Hall of Famer. That shit's wild, isn't it? That's no cap. That's like no alcohol. That's like saying that shit soberly. That's like being absolutely coherent enough to know what you're talking about. Carissa Shields is a Hall of Famer right now. Can you imagine that? At only 24 years old, what she accomplished, she should very well be applicable to any type of criteria for the Hall of Fame. I'm being absolutely honest about that. She's accomplished so much in the front half of her career than than most females. So Layla Ali, being that she boxed at a different era, and she has her father's name as a halo, she still was a recognizable opponent. You know what I'm saying? She's a recognizable opponent. And a lot of people may gravitate to Layla Ali because she's very attractive, prepossessing woman. But when it comes to boxing, we look at who you fought. Like I still remember when she fought Jacque Frazier Lide. Lide. I mean, that was a good fight, man. Frazier Lide was 7-0, undefeated. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have to take all that in consideration of her opponents. What their record looked like. Was her opponents' records lopsided? How many opponents from the first one she faced did it take her to start facing contending against opponents with winning records? And I can tell you, it was about 5. Her sixth fight, her 6 or 7 fight. No, I'll take that back. It was deeper than that. She really didn't get a solid freaking opponent, until she faced 7-0 Frazier. It was like her 10th fight. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I truly believe that if the women's division want to put on a show like Floyd Mayweather did with Conor McGregor, that's exactly what they need. They need the Layla Ali vice Amanda Nunes. Okay? If you pick, and don't be goofy about this, but if you want to say, okay, what would be a better choice for Carissa Shields to face Amanda Nunes right now or Layla Ali? Who's going to invest $10 million to see Clarissa Shields fight Amanda Nunes? No way, no how. But through the name and the prestige, you know what I'm saying? Pulling Layla Ali out of retirement, and the anticipation, the suspense, the media coverage, everything else that goes along with promoting the fight. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Can you imagine? This is what Shields in this lifetime is advocating for. She wants equal pay. If you can't get equal pay, you get enough pay. You know what I'm saying? You get just enough to give you that good, warm and fuzzy feeling that, man, I'm making some pretty good money off this fight. So I'm good. I'm good. Let me go ahead and put on a show. It's gonna be disrespectful. You're gonna get a little bit of Tony Harrison and freaking Jamel Charlo with Ali and Shields. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's gonna be very entertaining, man. I will tune in to see that fight. I will tune in to the press conference. I will be there for the press conference. It would be absolutely exciting to see these ladies lock up. I want to see it. I would go check that out before I would see Amanda Nunes and Carissa Shields, even though respectively they're active fighters. They're both active fighters in different genres of combat disciplines. But when it comes to the ring, the boxing ring, and the accolades that Shields has been able to accomplish early, and then you take Amanda Nunes bleeding over and transferring her skill set to put on some trunks and some heavier gloves other than the 4 ounces that she compete in. It would be extremely interesting because, of course, she's going to have to get used to not expecting or naturally intending to throw a kick or takedown. She's going to have to pretty much discipline herself in a way that it deals strictly with throwing strikes with her hand, the left and right, ammunition. She's going to have to work on angles. It's not like Amanda Nunes don't know what footwork is about. Is her footwork is going to be superior to that of Carissa Shields in boxing? No, I just can't see that happening just because she's putting on some gloves and she's supposed to come over here and move around the ring and be very self-sufficient to outwork Carissa Shields. I don't see it. But I do see a competitive fight on the first half. I say Amanda Nunes, as tough as she is, she easily go 5 rounds, Carissa Shields. Easy. You heard it from World Combat Sports. Don't trip. Hey, I'm saying it. She goes 5 rounds minimal. Amanda Nunes is not getting stopped by a body shot. I'm up here listening to all these freaking media, and I like to hear people call in to these other shows. I do. I like to hear because you get to have an audible of some of these individuals just calling in and they're trying to talk about mixed martial arts and boxing. They trying so hard, but they don't know the depth of what it takes to speak good on it, to actually know fight for fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing so much that she went in there and beat Christine Cyborg. They don't know the back end of why Christine Cyborg may have fought the fight she did against Amanda Nunes and got stopped. They don't know the behind the scenes of the contractual differences that was going on, the contentiousness, the fragmented relationship between her, the contractual stipulation if she would have picked up that title. They don't know any of that. I followed Cyborg for so long, man. Her Muay Thai competitions, her jiu-jitsu tourneys, all the way to when she just smoked Gina Carano. I followed her. I mean, I was watching those fights. And I'm saying to myself, man, Christine Cyborg, who's much more a heavier fighter, her stepping in there with Carissa Shields. Would the public gravitate that fight more than they would Amanda Nunes and Carissa Shields? I totally understand Carissa Shields and Cyborg are friends, but when you really want to talk about a woman who possesses some knockout power, who's much more skilled in the boxing ring, regardless, like, listen, Cyborg has competed in Muay Thai and mixed martial arts. She's very skilled with the gloves and the hands. That would be a fight I would want to see, to be all honest, before I would check out Amanda Nunes. Because once again, people, you have to understand which fighter has the more punching power, which fighter will acclimate better if they was to cross over to the boxing ring. And, you know, when the talk was going on, once, you know, Carissa Shield made it seem like she was going to step in there with Christine Cyborg, I was like, cool. Fire that train up. Because when it crashes, it's going to crash hard. But unfortunately, you know, it was one of those deals where she got dropped by Hannah Gabriel with an uppercut. But as I said before, Carissa closed the show. She kept the pressure on, kept the pressure on, and she was able to finish the fight strong. Now with Amanda Nunes and what she's went through in her career, she's just not a fighter to get knocked out, y'all. These fighters are kicking elbows and everything else with 4-ounce gloves. I understand a lot of you all try to talk about mixed martial arts in comparison to boxing, and the only thing you all can say is, well, if Carissa step in the cage, she'll get destroyed. And if Amanda step in the boxing ring, she would get destroyed. Not so much. Amanda Nunes stepping into the boxing ring, not so much that she'll get destroyed. Conor McGregor didn't get destroyed. He got stopped. Even though he was in there with considerably one of the best fighters of this era. Conor McGregor was a 2-division champion when he stepped into the ring. You know, Conor McGregor, southpaw, gave a little bit more twang to the entire matchup. His recipe for disaster allowed people to be more intrigued. That's why they paid $100. That's why they was freaking going into their kids' piggy banks and goddamn saying, you know what, your piggy bank is gonna sound a little bit different, but I just had to borrow some money for the laundromat. Up here lying to your kids like that. knowing that if your rent 1,500, you short 200 because you had to pay for the fight or pay for the bill that might have been a month behind, and then pay for the fight, get some food, and for those of you smart, try to sit up here and have a fight party and make some of your money back. Or better yet, you might have got there and went up there and bought some food and spent all that money and had a nice little party and didn't get anything except a disappointment. Because how is Conor going to come in there and do that? How is he going to upset the best? It wasn't going to happen. But does Amanda Nunes give enough suspense to the boxing public as a female? Two women clashing. Does she provide that it factor? They say, you know what? Amanda Nunes is a bad chick, but we just don't know shit about her. Like, she's a Brazilian fighter. We don't know too much about this female to kind of say, I want to spend my money on her. We don't know. But if it was Cyborg, people like, hell yeah, go ahead. Yeah. She's gonna go in there and smash Carissa. Yeah, it'll give a much more suspense to the boxing public that may not know Cyborg to kind of look at her highlights and say, you know what, man, you talking about David Banner got issues with freaking the Hulk smash. Christine Cyborg, the way she used to go in there and get it in, it was full blown. Like, Cyborg has came a long ways from her just full pledged assault on her opponents. Like, she was enraged. I would have absolutely enjoyed a fighter that's heavier in Cyborg, much more closer to the highest weight that Carissa's willing to fight at. You know what I'm saying? Carissa's saying she'll meet Layla Ali at 168 because Layla potentially is at 200 right now. You know, Layla Ali's a thick black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got that muscle there. I believe when she says she stays in somewhat of a decent shape, it's in her blood to do so. But if she is in boxing shape, been out the game since 07, nah. Absolutely not. Y'all let me know. Y'all can drop your input in there. You know, let me know what you think about this fight, man. If I don't see any comments on there, that's why I keep talking. Because y'all grown, y'all know what it is, man. Y'all have an open invitation to drop your input so we can have a boxing dialogue. Unless you just like hearing me talk, this boxing and MMA, it's all good. But drop your comments on what you think about this fight. Because I feel it'll be great for the sport, and it'll allow both women to get the highest payday that they ever could imagine in their boxing careers. And Layla Ali and Carissa Shields. Now, for the MMA transition, let me put this hypothetical out there. If Carissa Shields trying to change levels and say, you know what, even to the guys, she said, check this out. And she even mentioned it. She said she's going to do MMA sometimes in 2020. She's going to have this bout with Ivana Habashin, and she was going to freaking go into training for a bout later on in 2020 or something to that extent. Now I'm hearing that she might move up to heavyweight or something like that, light heavyweight, to face this girl. I don't know what the heck is going on. Like, it switches up every time I turn around, man. It's just enough appetizer for the media to just start, you know, grabbing and eating and regurgitating this out here in the freaking thumbnails and live videos and everything else that goes along with it. And then it changes up. Now it gives you something else to talk about it. It's really just dangling us along, man. It's almost like, for real, it's almost like virtual fishing. You have virtual fishing going on. You know, you have the bait in the water and we just swimming around down there trying to wait to the current. Oh, what's that? What's that? Everybody float to the damn surface to try to see what's up there. It's just crazy, man. Media is a crazy game. Hey, I want to do these fighters just sit up here and laugh sometime and come up with ideas like we try to come up with topics to discuss. I want to do the fighters free get up here and say, man, we need to bring some exposure. The best one in the game to do it right now, the best one in the game to do it, Adrian Broner. If he wants attention, he knows how to get attention. It might not be the most pleasant, but he knows how to get attention. So let's sit up here and hope that this fight happens. I hear a lot of people up here talking about Layla Ali don't need to come out and do this. Well, you know what? You're thinking about yourself, because at in your 40s doesn't mean you're not supposed to be doing anything. You're talking about people who might be deconditioning themselves, that don't even work out. They can't even really look at TV without pumping out 50 push-ups, just a measly 50 push-ups every single time, every day, just to keep yourself actively engaged in exercise. A lot of people are just talking for themselves, but you got to talk as if you're looking at the fighter, what they work for to even get this notoriety, and say, you know what? I'm in favor. If Layla Ali says she can do it, why not push and put the media out there and to echo the sentiments and say, yeah, we want to see it happen. And then allow the press conference to take place, allow certain people out there to have some kindness in their heart, the big dogs, the rich people, that put up the money for the fight and change the game. That's what it's all about. Allow the game to be changed in the women's side of the house, just like Floyd changed the game. Floyd changed the freaking game. And he wore a mask to the ring to let you know what he was doing. And he did it like a boss, man. He did it like a freaking boxing genius. He did it the way it was supposed to be done. And you can't stop it if you wanted to, because people was busy up here trying to see Floyd Mayweather lose, and he was busy getting full. You kept feeding the man and feeding the man and feeding the man and getting disappointed. Why not? If Shields can pull this off and say just enough to keep the voices active and the responses on deck, let's see Layla Ali step in the ring. Raise the Dead Incorporated. What's good? Salute to you. Thanks for dropping that comment. He said, I'll pay $100 for that Ali Shields. Do I want to agree with you or not? If where we at in boxing right now, man, and I'm talking about Layla Ali, even though I did see her fight back in the day, I'm from that old school, you know what I'm saying? I was able to see her fight. Absolutely. Would I pay $100 to see Layla Ali and Carissa Shields? I would absolutely have to think about that. And me paying $100 would be more so to support women's boxing. You know what I'm saying? Support the two women that absolutely stand out in their own way. You know what I'm saying? They have basically earned the silhouette in the biggest form, their performances, their attraction at the time that they was at the top of the sport, and everything they did through blood, sweat, and tears to get to where they need to be, to have this call out and to get paid $5 million a piece, if it's possible. I probably will pay $100, man, to be honest, because this is a rare thing in boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same thing in Floyd Mayweather fighting Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor may have did a portion of a legendary run of his, but he himself isn't a legend. You know what I'm saying? He isn't considered an all-time great. He isn't. Layla Ali, her name kind of halos her a lot, and having an undefeated record, of course. In the women's densely populated boxing community, they may consider her all-time great. And she's 24-0 and 21 knockouts. Of course, her dad's persona is bled down to her DNA being able to hold that Ali name and step in the ring. So you got to look at it in that perspective. You know, I can guarantee you that it ain't too many people saying Amanda Serrano when you can say Layla Ali's Amanda Serrano, even though Amanda Serrano is a 7 division champion. You don't hear people say anything about her. She don't try to promote herself, that nothing. When she goes to the Hall of Fame or whenever she gets out of boxing, people can say, "Oh, for real? I didn't know Amanda Serrano has 7 divisions to her accountability. I did not know that. Wow, that's some good facts to know. That's some good facts. Cecilia Brockers, you don't hear too much from Cecilia Brockers. I'm gonna tell you something that happened. You know, what's a little bit crazy about the women's division, right? I was in communication with a female boxer that someone linked me up to say, "Oh, you should interview so and so because this would be good." Blah blah blah. So I said, "Okay, cool." Of course, I was still at the ground floor. You know, I was getting started. I was transitioning over this turning on the lens and everything, and doing some a different lane of my expertise. What's going on, Razor Day? Exactly. D Hodges. I'm back. LDBC. Salute to everyone. Hey, appreciate you dropping back through, man. Salute to you. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate it. And thanks for everyone who smashed that thumbs up. Real talk. It's Friday. I know you got shit to do. It's almost about to be Saturday, so much appreciated, man. Much appreciated. So I had this communication through this person, right? So I say, hey, I'm gonna pay more attention. Let me pay more attention to the female side of the house. So someone turned me on to Mia St. John. I say, okay, I know who Mia St. John is. Okay. All right. So I hit her up. I sent her email and reached out to her. And she's asking me all these questions. And I'm giving her all my information. I say, check this, check this, check this. Okay. I just want to interview. That's all I want. 2 days back and forth, 3 days back and forth, 4 days. So I start just leaving it alone and I start focusing on other stuff because I had stuff to do. And then she'll shoot an email and say, what time did you want to do it? And blah, blah, blah. I say, okay, this time is good, whenever. And then, a week. We had a week right now dealing with this. I say, listen, I'm not sure if you can go back in the thread, but all I'm asking for is an interview. That's it. It's not that difficult. Going into the second week, I'm not really paying that much attention. She's checking what she got to check, do what she got to do. And then she asked me a question like, she told me she had some things to do. I have some scheduled appearances. So I got the impression she was trying to tell me she had some scheduled paid appearances. I said, all right, cool. Yeah, I ain't paying you for no interview. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying to myself, you're not getting anything from me for no interview. So the second week concluded. I said, cool. She's just playing around, whatever. She said, are you free this day? I think it was Tuesday. Are you free? I said, cool. Yeah, I am. What time? Oh, I'll get back with you. I'll let you know a time. We're going in the third week. I say, you found out a time yet? I'm ready. I'm good. Didn't hear anything back. Get to the end of the third week. She said, so what are some of the questions? Can you send me the list of questions you're going to? And this is what I left her with. I say, I am talking about you as the fighter and your career. That's it. I don't want to know about your personal life. None of that. I want to talk about boxing, your career, or whatever. And whenever you feel comfortable and you're able to do this for free, because it just seems like, once again, man, these fighters don't get no residual income outside of the sport. And I said, when you get that confidence, let me know. I'm done. Seriously, I'm done. I'm not going back and forth with this lady. Come on. It's not even worth my time anymore. And I left it alone. I let it be. Rolled out. I appreciate the D Hodge for sure. D Hodge say I'm 3 for 3 tonight. Everyone I picked, I'm 3 for 3 tonight. Everyone I picked won. Never had that in a minute. If you're in the building, you tuned in, hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. But that was my story with St. John. It's just I'm trying to interview more female fighters, man. But I'll be absolutely honest. Like I'm not sure if they hesitant that somebody pretty much is going to be thorough with the interview, and I'm still light. I'm not even. I'm still light when it comes to just being the way I was in the Marine Corps or whatever. I'm still light when it comes to this interviewing stuff. I really don't dig in with a rusty nail on what I could. I'm being extremely nice, but you try to link up with some of these female fighters, man, and they ain't trying to promote themselves unless you're a big name. Seriously, they don't want to link up with a dude that's on the platform unless they got 50 to 100,000 followers and they can benefit, because these women athletes believe that it's all about promoting themselves. So they got to take the opportunity to separate and only go in for the big fish, and hopefully that can basically spread the word. That would be enough, and that's not the way it works. And I tell the male fighters this too. Like, you really want to deal with the media outlets like myself that's in the process of embedding my roots in the game of this media. In the garden, the media garden that we have out here. It's so many of us out here. You can't just say, well, I need to wait till you get to 100,000. That's absurd. Because while these guys was out here in media, I was in the Marine Corps. I was serving up on the canopy of the nation's colors. That's what I was doing. A lot of what I'm doing right here in the media, my mindset is, why should I have to wait 5 to 10 years to get to a certain location? A certain point. It's not the way I operate. When you're in combat, you have to go over there and set up. You're on a time limit. And sometimes it requires when the sky falls, you still up. When the sky closes down and the night brushes shoulders with the afternoon, dawn to dusk, guess what we doing? We up. In communications, you don't go to sleep until the communications greened up and you're able to talk to all the distant end that is a part of the communication network. So therefore, back to boxing. Let's hope this boxing bout happen. Period. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. Real talk. My other media talking point per the thumbnail was Manny Pacquiao. It's a lot that's been going on about Manny Pacquiao, y'all. He's the WBA regular title holder. He's the WBA super title holder. He defeated Keith Thurman. Now, the one positive aspect I see in Manny Pacquiao right now when it comes to who he should fight is that his name is coming up in the pool to fight a champion. I'm glad to hear that, because I'm really looking forward to try to get a welterweight champion unified in that division. That's what I want to see. I want to see a unified welterweight champion. Just like I want to see a unified heavyweight champion. But it may happen much more faster in the welterweight division. Seriously. I like what's going on with Manny Pacquiao potentially fighting someone important. But my only gripe or complaint is the fact that Conor McGregor's name is coming up to potentially face Manny Pacquiao. Let me tell you something on how I perceive the visual when it comes to who's going to make more money. If Manny Pacquiao was facing Floyd Mayweather, the entire Filipino nation, like they do, they support their fighters, right? They will come out in droves to see this fight. But the Filipino nation is not dumb boxing fans. They're neck and neck with the Mexican boxing fans. But I got to give an edge to the Filipinos. I've been around them in the Corps. I've been to some freaking fight parties. Man, I've had some boxing conversations with some Filipinos. I mean, you got some hardcore Filipino boxing fans. The one dilemma that I see with Manny Pacquiao facing Conor McGregor is the fact that they don't see any benefit in it. Like Manny Pacquiao stepping in there with Conor McGregor, who has no belts. He has no belts. Now, it is some Filipinos that'll say, you know what? We'll go out and support our politician, Manny Pacquiao, our combat sports warrior, Manny Pacquiao. We'll do that because we support Manny Pacquiao. He gives back to the community. We fully support him. But collectively, if you want to say, is it going to do really big numbers? Are the boxing fans going to gravitate or close in and dig in their pockets to support Manny Pacquiao versus Conor McGregor? I don't see it happening. I don't see them charging any more than $60 for PPV with Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao. I don't want to see the fight anyway. I don't want to see it. One thing I can say about Conor McGregor was standing in the pocket just long enough to take some punches. And I know Manny Pacquiao was able to drop Keith Thurman, but Conor McGregor is a different type of cerebral striker when he's in the moment. Like Floyd was just too crafty. You might say Manny Pacquiao is crafty too, but I think Manny Pacquiao might go in there and believe that he can stay on the outside and pick and choose when he want to get close or apply pressure, shorten up the distance, get within range of Conor. I'm gonna tell you, if you plan on playing that Russian roulette with Conor McGregor in the early rounds, Manny Pacquiao looked the same way he did when he was on his face against Juan Manuel Marquez. Period. Conor McGregor has some spark in his left hand. Legitimately, I can say that Conor McGregor has put some fighters down with his left hand. It's all about if the public will pay to see Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor. I don't want to see it. I want to see Manny Pacquiao face Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford. That's all I want to see. If Errol Spence is coming off that horrific car accident and he's able to recover and he steps in there with Manny Pacquiao, that's what I want to see. I want to see him go in there and try to collect that WBA super belt, which I, mentioned several months ago. And I said, yeah, that's a fight that interests me. Hodges said McGregor is the bag. That's why I sub you. LWC will make your channel come up. Thanks for putting that out there. Hey, I appreciate the support there, Hodges. Real talk. Floyd makes people money bag. Floyd makes people money bags. Canelo, Manny, etc. They lost. Now they are the bag. Floyd makes them facts. And Floyd is a different type of fighter in there. He's built that huge empire with his persona sitting at the tip that everybody wants to come see him lose. And no one's having that persona with Manny Pacquiao. No one's having that persona with Conor McGregor. Why? Because Conor McGregor has lost in the UFC and he's lost in front of the millions that was watching for Floyd Mayweather. So you take two fighters that have losses on their record. The only momentum that's going in there from either side is Manny Pacquiao when he stepped in there with Keith Thurman. That's it. Period. That's all they have. The momentum from Manny Pacquiao defeating Keith Thurman. Is that enough for them to jack up the price and bridge the MMA community and boxing community together for one weekend of boxing? I don't think it is, y'all, and I really don't hope this. I really hope this fight doesn't happen. They need to stop talking about it. A lot of people out here talking about this fight really don't know how to talk about the Manny Pacquiao. All they want to do is say, "Oh, well, Conor McGregor been over there with Floyd Mayweather. Why would he want to do it, Manny Pacquiao?" Why? Because Manny Pacquiao is like 41, 42 years old. This fight ever happened. He'd be 42 already. Manny Pacquiao has miles on his body from all the rigors that boxing demands of a fighter to go through a training camp and going in the ring and competing. Manny Pacquiao is an 8 division champion, and believe me, internally to his entire physical structure, there's miles. And yes, it's miles on his body. And for him to go in there against a young fighter like Conor McGregor, believe me when I tell you, Conor McGregor is returning a second time. If he does, he's not going to be as novice. He's not going to be as a tyro as he was when he stepped in there with Floyd Mayweather. And he's stepping in there with an older fighter. So if Manny Pacquiao want to play Russian roulette with a semi-automatic, go right ahead. You want to play Russian roulette with a fully automatic, go right ahead. Because I'm pretty sure Conor's going to give you everything you can handle in the first part of the fight, even if Manny Pacquiao goes in there and turn up like he always do with punches and bunches. I'm just curious to how that would all work out, because look back at the fight with him and Floyd. He did land some shots on Floyd. I'm not talking about the rabbit punches and the BS he was throwing that was all awkward. I'm just saying he was able to land some pretty accurate shots on Floyd. Minimal as they were, he still did it. So imagine what he'll be able to do with Manny Pacquiao. That's serious, real talk. So we can only hope. Tomorrow is fight night. Shout out to my man Michael Seals. I really hope he get that win against Alida Alvarez. He's been working to get himself back on track, man. You know, coming off those 2 solid, devastating knockouts of his opponent. The last one, his opponent was just sitting on the bottom of the ring rope, somewhat reflective or from Romain Stavern. You know what I'm saying? It was almost the same thing. The reason why I'm talking about Michael Seals is because he's a fighter out of the ATL, man. Shout out to Felipe Boxing Gym. Yeah, I'm giving a shout out, man. You know, he's 24-2. And when he went in there and you know, his only 2 losses, he lost via TKO in 2015 to Edwin Rodriguez. And then it was a DQ against Michael Binga. And, you know, that fight really changed a lot in how boxing viewed Michael Seals, and it kept him out the sport for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? So, and, you know, that was a 6-round fight. He's been working his way back up to get that notoriety. So if you look at his boxing rec, out of the last 4 bouts, you know, because in 2018, he fought in September, Rafael Cruz, UD, and then again in September. Check this out. He fought September 17, 2018, and Carlos Rafael Cruz, unanimous decision win. Then he turned around and fought the 22nd. You heard me right. September 22nd, 2018, Andy Perez, who was 20-8 TKO. Then turned right back around, stepped up in 2019, Christopher Booker, knockout. Then October 2019, fought Geraldo, TKO. And the last one you see on the highlights of his opponent falling on the back rope with his mouth open, eyes in the back of his head. Now he's stepping up and he's facing one of the toughest competitors on his resume. hands down. And that is Alida Alvarez, the same Alida Alvarez who went in there and fought Sergey Kovalev, and that's the only loss that he has on his record. He's 24-1 with 12 knockouts. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight. UD by Sergey Kovalev to get his belt back. And then if you look at Michael Seals, he's stepping there with 18 KOs. There's a slight disparity in KO ratio, but it really doesn't matter. Michael Seals is 37 years old, and Alida Alvarez, he's looking what's his age? He's 35, so 2 years younger than Michael Seals. Very well matched up. You know what I'm saying? And I really pull in and give a shout out to Michael for Michael Seals to step in there and get that victory. And furthermore, the last one, the big deal of it all, the fight that everybody's talking about, of course, that's been on the media, that people are looking forward to. No, it's not Chris Colbert, but goddamn it, Chris Colbert took Deion Sanders, who was down here in Atlanta. He called himself Prime Time. I met Chris Colbert in person, man. He's not lacking any confidence. I can tell you that. And when I was doing some media, I was on the ground, on the floor, and he happened to be around. He was just standing up there watching the fight. And I'm gonna tell you, Chris Colbert, man, he don't lack confidence. The man speaks what's on his mind, and he believes he has all the workings and skill set to do what he have to do, man. You got to give it up to him. You got to give it up to him for having that confidence, man. I ain't mad at him. Continue to go in there and perform the way you're doing. Like, he had a very early knockout his last fight. He looked impressive. So he's stepping in there with the fighter. And once again, let me connect this together while I'm bringing him up. He's fighting Corrales, right? Corrales stepped in there with Ladarius Miller at the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore. I was at that fight. And when I found out that Prime Time was fighting him at 13-0, I was like, what? He's stepping in there. Listen, when I tell you, people, check this out. Boxing is almost like, when you look at some of these fighters with records like Chris Colbert, and then you look at fighters like Jaron Ennis, Boots. Everybody likes to say, oh, Boots. He's a good guy, but the dude is 25-0, and you got fighters with less experience than he has and fighting better competition. You look at Chris Colbert, he's stepping in there with the guy who's coming off an impressive performance that truly, in my opinion, won that fight in Baltimore. In my opinion, from what I've seen, he put on a show and he won that fight. The crowd was booing so loud. You had to be there. The crowd was booing so loud when Ladarius Miller lost that fight. Seriously, I'm talking about the same Ladarius Miller who dropped through ATL. And you probably saw it on there that he was like 9 pounds over, some with the contract or whatever the case. But he was giving Ladarius Miller the business. He came in there to fight. He wasn't laying down, and it ended the way it did. Bringing us to full circle with Chris Colbert. Jezreel Corrales is 23-3. Should be 24-2. All right, to be honest. They're fighting for the interim WBA World Super Featherweight title in Philly. Chris Colbert is 13-0, 5 knockouts. It's not like he's going in there just finishing dudes. This is going to be a tough fight. I'm not going to lie to you. If Chris Colbert goes in there and stops Corrales early in the fight, I'm not buying it. As tough as Corrales was out there with Ladarius Miller, and the way he demonstrated he can box and be a showman. Like Ladarius Miller, I believe, dropped him at one point in the fight, and he rolled back on his shoulders and kicked up immediately, and then took it back to Ladarius Miller like it was nothing. But the referee ended up breaking it up, because of course he got knocked down or whatever. But it looked good at what he was doing, and the crowd was like on his side, man. You know what I'm saying? The crowd was like, yeah, that's what we're talking about. We need this entertainment. So the crowd was like all on Corrales, man, like boosting them up, cheering them on. And when the freaking cards was red, they was like, hell no. Hell no. Nope. No Ladarius Miller. No. No. Split decision win? No. Not even. And Ladarius Miller, he's 20-1 right now. Believe it or not, he's 20-1. But Chris Colbert goes in there and stop this guy Corrales. I'm gonna really have to start paying attention to this dude. I am now, but I'm just saying he only has 5 knockouts to his credit, and Corrales have 9. I'm gonna really start paying attention. I like how flashy he is. I like he's coming with his own style. He got his own rhythm. He's doing it his way. But if he goes in here and puts on a performance that this guy who I seen fight already, and his alias is El Invincible, I'm really have to start paying attention to Chris Colbert. Seriously. But that was one of the fights I want to talk about before, of course, J-Rock and Jason Rosario. I just feel that's going to be a competitive fight early on. A part of me saying they may not go the entire fight. Seriously. If the same J-Rock that showed up with Jarrett Hurd, I don't see it. He's a Dominican Republic fighter. He's a tough fighter, man. He has some, decent power. But the way J-Rock looked against Jarrett Hurd, I just don't see anyone beating him right now. Even as Jarrett Hurd decide to return, when he gathers the courage, or his team say it's a good time for you to come and implement that rematch, I just don't see Jarrett Hurd being defeated right now. Hard to say. A lot of stops tonight. Who you got, McGregor or Cowboy? That's not a hard one for me, but it is. The reason why it's a bit difficult is because Cowboy Cerrone has a lot of mileage on his body, and if you're not able to apply some takedown pressure, or even act like you're going to wrestle Conor McGregor to earn his respect, like Khabib Nurmagomedov was able to do, Conor McGregor is just going to stand there in the pocket and wait for you to throw a shot so he can counter and counter. You know what I'm saying? That's what he does. He's going to try to beat up Cowboy early because he starts slow. You know what I'm saying? But I got to go with McGregor. Serious. They want him to fight Jorge Masvidal. I just got McGregor winning that fight due to the punishment Cowboy Cerrone took from Rafael dos Anjos. You know what I'm saying? The punishment he took from Justin Highlight Reel Gaethje. Yeah. I see Conor McGregor getting that victory. A lot of people got Cowboy, but I'm just saying, he's been in some wars, man. He has over 55 fights. I mean, Cowboy Cerrone's been around the game for quite some time, man. He had some very solid victories. I still remember his victory at Essen Barbosa. I still thought Essen was going to be able to do that lightning, that flash heel kick, that spinning heel kick. He has one of the, I'm talking about his spinning game is sick. One of the best in mixed martial arts. Take out Raymond Daniels jumping in periodically. One of the best in kickboxing. I would say Essen Barbosa fast twitch fibers are some of the best in the game when it comes to him and his spinning heel kick. It's insane seeing Essen Barbosa spinning Arsenal. insane. But Cowboy was able to stop him. He subbed him. He knocked him down and subbed him with an RNC. I remember seeing that fight. You know what I'm saying? It's too many names to go out here and talk about that. Even when he damn near snatched Michael Perry's name out. The same Michael Perry who said that he did a DNA test or whatever, and they said he had like 4% of black in him. So he took to the freaking social media and said, yeah, it's okay for me to use nigga. I can use that. So he just called Michael Jai White. He was calling him out. He was using to say, you bitch ass nigga and all that. He was just talking. So Michael said, whenever I'm in town, call me up. It's no problem for me to meet up. Okay, it's no problem. If you wanna fight, we can fight. So Michael Jai White, he is legitimate. I used to see him all the time over there in California. I actually have a picture on my Facebook, but I don't put too much of those up there. But I do have a picture with Michael Jai White, and he's a legitimate martial artist, always in shape, everything. Him going up against Michael Perry, I'm not sure what the freaking rules would be, but of course Michael Jai White will have to take in consideration that Michael Perry is a freaking mixed martial artist, vice Michael Jai White being a multi-discipline stand-up martial artist. And though both of these individuals are schooled, when it comes to competition, I'm talking about taking a beating, knowing what that's like. That's Mike Perry. It'll be a good showdown. You know what I'm saying? Michael Perry would definitely have to get on the inside quick. Michael Jai White, man, he ain't no joke. Dude is no joke. But anyway, I ain't giving them no press play right now, Michael Perry, man. But I'm looking forward to seeing J Rock go in there and get that victory with Jason Rosario. Make it a good fight, get it done, and move on to bigger and better things. J Rock, you're on top of the world right now, and you know what the public want to see. We want to see Julian Williams versus Jermell Charlo. Right or wrong? That's what we want to see. We want to see Julian Williams and Jermell Charlo. If Jerry Hurd isn't swift enough to come back for a rematch, then we want to see Jermell Charlo defend that WBC belt to try to unify. That is the opportunity as a breakout fight for Jermell Charlo if he's able to go in there and fight Julian Williams. Hands down. We definitely want to see that. We kind of done with the Tony Harrison. You all fought twice. You 1-1. I don't think Charlo really want to run it back with Tony Harrison. I heard Tony Harrison on the radio talking about he'd give everything to get that back. No, man. All that trash you talk. No, Tony. You should have took full advantage of it without showboating in the ring. No, we ain't trying to see that. What we want to see now is, once again, putting those titles together. And that's what we want to see. And right now, J Rock is the man with the crowns. And granted, he goes in here and defeat Jason Rosario, then we want to see him and freaking Jermell Charlo. I don't know why so many people get it confused. I was sitting up here trying to tell somebody downtown today that Jermell Charlo is the one who was able to knock out J Rock, okay? And they was trying to tell me, no, it was Jermell Charlo, bruh. Do me a favor and not try to talk boxing when you know you've been drinking in the car. Don't do it. Whatever you on, man. Don't try to talk boxing or anything else when you way off. I'm trying to tell you, Jermell Charlo wasn't the one who fought Julian Williams. Them twins ain't that hard to separate. They're not. It's easy. You know what I'm saying? It's easy, especially when they talking trash. Both of them hold their head to the left. They cock their head to the left and they trash talk. It's easy. But to separate them, man, it's easy work, man. Jermell Charlo does not fight junior middleweight, okay? I repeat again, Jermell Charlo does not fight junior middleweight. He does not box in the junior middleweight division. Know that. So that is it, people. D Hodges, appreciate it, man. Thanks for dropping through. Dundada, Raise the Dead Incorporated. I like that name, Raise the Dead Incorporated. You know, all the people that's on the chat. Remember, people, I told you this. This chat with these minimal people, I appreciate it and give them a salute for talking to boxing and dropping that input in there to talk and have a dialogue. It's gonna come a point in time where it's gonna be pretty full, and I'm patient. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the people coming over here and listening to the content and everything that I got. It's some beautiful channels out there doing what they got to do. Thumbnails invite people over, but I'm an old head. I'm not gonna put a lot of extreme effort into cosmetics unless I feel like it. Be sure to follow me on all social media platforms and check out worldcombatsports.com. You know what it is. Check out my articles that I write whenever I choose to. You know what I'm saying? I'm a single parent, man. I'm up here doing what I got to do as a father, man, and also kicking this media off. I do have some big things in the works though, so it's not like I'm not out here doing trench work behind the scenes. But boxing is next the next day, well today. Okay, it's 12:25 today, and I will be doing live commentary again. To be honest, I really want to do it on the boxing. Oh, the UFC 246 is like $64. So I'm just trying to contemplate what I want to do. Because whenever I do live commentary, it's absolutely gonna be on boxing. Let's get that straight. Unless it's a big enough mixed martial arts fight, like John Jones and Israel Adesanya, then that's when I say, period. I'm putting down everything. I'm doing live commentary on UFC because we have a super fight. We have Israel Adesanya going in there against arguably the GOAT of mixed martial arts, John Bones Jones. That would be it. It have to be a big name for me to not do a live commentary on boxing. Period. Now you know. All right. Until next time, people, turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports and check me out later on this evening for another live commentary. Your support is much appreciated, and I'm out.